You close a new $25,000 retainer, right? And in that moment, it feels like momentum. It feels like growth. It feels like yes, yes, and yes, my agency is leveling up. And so you do what responsible founders do. You hire to support that new account, client, or project. You bring in senior oversight. You expand your reporting. You increase the frequency of internal meetings to protect the quality and ensure that you are operating in excellency. And as a result of getting that new service, project, or client, your agency revenue is higher and you're excited. But at the same time, you realize that your cash position barely moves. And you begin to wonder, how are we busier, booked? How are we billing more? How are we bigger? And the profit does not feel reflective of the most recent growth. If that sounds familiar, this episode is for you because today we're going to talk about the pricing decisions that determines whether growth actually strengthens your agency or quietly adds operational weight and no extra cash flow. I'm even going to give you a pricing for profit formula specifically for marketing agencies. Hey there. Welcome to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Octavia Connor, CEO of Say Yes to Profits, a fractional CFO firm for 7- and 8-figure marketing agencies who are ready to turn their top line revenue growth into predictable profits they can clearly see, retain, and multiply. Now, let's walk through what really happened in the intro story. So as I said, you added a $25,000 retainer and therefore you increased your team labor, you increase operational capacity to support this. And again, all of this makes sense. But what most founders do not pause to calculate is the actual cost of delivering the services to that new client, project, or account at their current stage. And you see, nor do they pause to calculate these short-term and long-term costs if they have to expand. And you see, oftentimes they're still operating like the new agency or the one from 2 or 3 years ago instead of the one that they are today. And see, today you may have real payroll. So what does real payroll include? It includes leadership salaries. It includes account managers. It includes senior strategists. It includes operational support. It includes even more technology overhead. And you see, while that infrastructure is necessary to support the agency's growth, it is also costly. And if your pricing has not evolved with your new infrastructure and your operating system, revenue can increase while your margins stay flat or shrink altogether, leading to hidden profit leaks. Matter of fact, I want you to put profit leaks in the comments if you understand this, if you've experienced this, and if you are ready to get past it. Here is the breakdown I often see inside of growing marketing agencies. What tends to happen is that the retainer amount, right? It feels substantial. And so it gets accepted as profit. But hear me clearly, no one proactively defined the required margin target before the contract is signed. No one models the amount of senior involvement that would realistically be required. No one thinks about the additional software, subscription, and supplies that are actually needed. No one pressure tests the account to see what would happen if scope expanded. Does that sound familiar? And so you get to the point where you're like, I don't think this is going to be profitable. I don't think we charge them enough. I'm operating at a really stressful position. And unfortunately, by that point, the services have already begun. Sounds familiar? The relationship with the new client has already begun to be established. And so going back to them for a pricing adjustment feels uncomfortable. And see, this is how growing agencies find themselves in cash flow trouble. And I talk about this inside of the Say Yes to Profits masterclass, right? Where we go over a pillar in our profit pillars. And that pillar is the profit driver. And see, the profit driver has to deal with whether the agency's revenue actually produces real profit or quietly disappears through underpriced work, unplanned labor, and delivery costs that they never modeled before they begin. The profit driver deals deeply with the product, the pricing, and the people. And see, inside of the Say Yes to Profits Accelerator, my virtual masterclass, I show you how to eliminate these margin surprises by installing the financial structure that ensures every client engagement is designed to produce and protect and multiply profits, get this, before the work begins. So if you haven't secured your seat to the upcoming accelerator, you want to do so right now by clicking the link in the description or going to accelerator.sayyesToProfits.com. And so you may be wondering, okay, Octavia, how do I fix it? Well, here's the thing. We empower our CFO clients who are agency founders to treat pricing not as a sales win, but as a strategic financial decision. You see, before they fully celebrate that new retainer, again, they pause to review their numbers and plug them in to their custom project profitability calculator and ensure that their pricing is for profit. You see, they also ask themselves, and write this down, does this meet our margin standards? You have to have margin standards first before it can meet them, right? They also ask themselves, does this support the hiring plan we've already mapped out? And does this project align with the subscriptions, the supplies, and the softwares and the things that we already have? Or are we going to have to invest more? And you see, if something feels unclear, they don't guess. They don't proceed without clarity. Absolutely not. They model it. Okay, hear me clearly, which means they project and forecast the long-term and the short-term financial outcome with their dedicated CFO and in their project profitability calculator, and then they state their price. You see, they understand that clarity creates and protects and multiply profitability. And without financial clarity, they're not operating from a place where they can state their price with confidence and know that it's going to transition tangibly to their bottom line. And you see, they're not just looking at today, okay? They're forecasting their future, and you need to do the same, because when you don't, you actually operate reactively and blindly. Does that make sense? Yes, yes? All right. So here's what I recommend you do. Number one, review your pricing every 90 days. Okay. I want you to identify the margin by account, by client, and by project. I also want you to calculate your true delivery cost, okay, including the allocated time that your team will need. I also want you to review the scope expansion and determine whether scope creep has occurred, or identify signs and signals that will let you know scope creep is about to occur, and so you can catch it proactively. Make sense? Okay. I also want you to identify which accounts fall below your margin defined threshold. All right. Then, and only then, make deliberate decisions based on the data. Does that make sense? Yes, yes. Listen, as a founder, it is your fiscal responsibility to ensure that pricing becomes a part of your executive cadence and that profit becomes more stable and protected as you grow. Get it? Got it good? Yes, yes. Okay. I also want to give you a pricing for profits formula. You see, when pricing a client engagement, Start by doing a few things, okay? I want you to calculate your true delivery costs, right? When I say delivery costs, this includes your team costs, your delivery expense, and a portion of overhead. Got it? Now, once you know that number, then you're going to add a desired profit margin to it. So let me give you an example of this, okay? So let's say you have delivery costs of $6,000. So this is your labor, this is your supplies, this is your overhead. And you desire to have 40% as a net profit margin, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your delivery costs times the 40%. That's going to give you $2,400 for this example. And then you're going to add your delivery costs plus the $2,400, which will give you a price of $8,400. To price your services less than this will then have you eat into your profit margin, and you may not have a profit margin left over. When you use this formula, it guarantees that you have a 40% net profit margin left over. And so then you have to ensure that all of your costs does not exceed the amount that you place in the formula. And that is how you would price your marketing agency services for profit. Get it? Got it good? Yes, yes? All right. So when determining your price, remember, cost first, right? Profit second, because you're identifying the profit. So you got to get clear on the cost. So determine your cost first, then add your profit, and that will give you your price. Make sense? Yes, yes? Here's the thing. Pricing discipline is one of the first financial levers we assess as a fractional CFO for our agency founder clients. And that is because at the 7 and 8 figure annual revenue level, revenue generation is already established. You absolutely know how to bring in the revenue, but you must focus on how to strengthen your financial position. And financial strength means predictable cash flow and profit. It means confident hiring. It means stable and consistent owner compensation that you receive. It means clear margin visibility and the ability to say yes to profits with ease. And your pricing structure, get this now, your pricing structure and your pricing strategy influence all of that. Make sense? When pricing is structured and reviewed consistently, growth feels controlled. It feels stable. It feels confident. It feels like growth. And so the bottom line is that pricing discipline is your fiscal responsibility as a founder. If you want to truly say yes to profits as your agency grows, you need the right structure and strategy around your pricing. And that is exactly what we work on at the virtual masterclass, the Say Yes to Profits Accelerator. Again, inside of the accelerator, I show you how to evaluate your margins and make model hiring decisions before committing to them and forecast growth across different cash levels and install the financial discipline required to scale profitably. And so if you are right now leading a 7 and 8 figure agency and you are ready to ensure you're profitable every service, every client, every time, you need to meet me at the upcoming accelerator. Secure your ticket right now to accelerator.sayyes2profits.com. And if you're still with me up to this point in the episode and you want a free VIP ticket to the accelerator, put Profit Air in the comments, okay? And then DM me and I'll send you your VIP access. Yes, yes? All right, you all, I'll see you at the upcoming accelerator. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe button right now. And until we speak, say yes to profits. Toodles. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. Now it is time for you to make money moves. Take action based on what you learn. Now, see you on the next episode. Say Yes to Profits. Toodles.